Hey everyone, so here I am, Monday evening, live, talking about rosacea as promised. Another week, no makeup on. Yeah, so here we are, rosacea. What is it, who's got it, what can we do about it? So 1 in 10 of the population of the UK have some form of rosacea. It's more common in women, but men do have it, and when men get it, tend to get it worse than us. So it's that big redness and then the sort of texture on the nose, but we'll go over that. It tends to be sort of over 50% sort of Celtic origin women, sort of pale, blonde, redheads. 50% of us do get some element of rosacea, and I did. So I have treated myself, and I'm going to show you tomorrow my sort of picture I found of myself with full makeup on, and a picture I'll take after this with no makeup on, and just to see the difference. So share my own story with you. So what is it? What is rosacea? So it's a disruption in that sort of hydrolipid layer. So we've got sort of a layer on the top of our skin that protects us. And what it does is it stops us losing fluid. So we get transepidermal water loss in our skin because of the disruption in the skin's layer due to the rosacea. So it's more permeable to irritants, so irritants can get in more easily, and it decreases resistance of our skin and resilience of our skin, and reduces the amount it can protect us. And that's what skin therapy is, to protect us from the elements, from pollution, bacteria, all sorts of things. So our skin needs to be looked after to look after us. So symptoms of rosacea: flushing, you get flushing of the skin quite easily. Redness, so people get that sort of permanent redness of the skin, tends to be across the cheeks and the nose and spreads out from there. You can get it in the forehead and the chin obviously as well. Mine's in the chin, and it's on my top lip there and my cheeks. Visible blood vessels, so when obviously the top layer of skin is disrupted, we can see those sort of dilated blood vessels under the skin that gives us this red appearance, which we don't tend to like. We get burning and increased temperature in the skin, dryness as well, because we're losing all that water through our transepidermal layer. Dryness in the skin, excuse me, it's got some message on my screen. Dryness in the skin, as I said, because we're losing the fluid. Lost my flow then, because a big message got across my screen. Those sort of, what people think is acne, and you get sort of yellowing spots, and that's the bacteria in the skin. I'll explain to you about that in a moment. And thickening of the skin, we get bad texture in the skin with rosacea. Again, because what happens, we get sort of a build-up of dead skin and thickened skin, and that's gets down in the cells, and that's part of the disease process. I use the term disease loosely, I mean it's a dis-ease. So that sort of nose, the thickening of the nose, the ladies that said, oh, you know, my nose has just changed shape, got this thickening area on here, that's rosacea. So the cause of it, why we get it specifically, is quite unclear. Genetics is part of it. People suggested unstable blood vessels, so the blood vessels in the skin are less stable, that's why we get a more appearance of them, and a tendency to have more different various bacteria growing within the skin that can start be the same as sort of some gut bacteria. Dermodex mites, people who have rosacea have 10 times more dermodex mites on the skin. We all have them, but when you have rosacea you have more of them. And it's thought that when they die, living in our skin, they sort of release the bacteria, and it's obviously they like to dwell in sort of places where they can hide. So that's why we tend to get, the people with rosacea tend to get sort of spots starting here as well, and out across the cheeks and down sort of nasolabial folds. I'll show you what a dermodex mite looks like. It is quite revolting. There he is, ugly fella. So yeah, my daughter got to get a printout for her for school, and found something in the printer, and I asked her what it was, and she said, well, I don't know, Mum, it's a picture of a bald otter, which I thought was hilarious. But yes, these are microscopic. Excuse me. You cannot see them with the naked eye, obviously. I'll tell you another place that dermodex mites like to go to is false eyelashes, and I love my lash extensions, but you must wash them properly. because they love to live in there because we don't clean it as well. It's really hard. Anyone who's had lash extensions, but I still miss them. It's really hard to clean them as well as you can when you haven't got them on. So what can we do about rosacea? Cleansing gently. So we need to clean the skin, obviously, to clean it of bacteria, to clean it of the pollution that's gone on it during the day, of makeup, grease, all those things, and to help get rid of these ugly little mites. We want to strengthen the blood vessels, we want to strengthen the skin cells, rebuild that top layer of skin so we're not losing that layer, so we haven't got permeability in the skin for the irritants to come in, and protect it. So how can we do that? Well, cleansers. So I have a cleanser called Sensicalm cleanser, which is great at getting rid of makeup and oil and cleansing the skin, but what it also does, it does it in a sensitive way, and it has ceramides in it, so it's replacing some of that lost lipid layer. Vitamin C is brilliant for all skin conditions for different reasons, and in this situation what it does is it strengthens the vessels and strengthens the cells and improves that layer of skin that is showing the red blood vessels, that is irritated, that is inflamed. Retinol, brilliant thing as well. We discussed before that retinol increases cell turnover. Oh, hi Wendy. Increases cell turnover, again thickening the skin, making it stronger. In rosacea, obviously for others it also helps with anti-aging because it's repairing those dead skin cells that aren't being replaced over time. As I said, skin cell turnover is very fast when you're young, should be about 28 days, but as you get older it slows down. So that will help with that texture of the skin that's getting worse from the rosacea as well. Matrixyl is a peptide that helps build the skin as well, and that's in something called Ultimate Boost, which I rave about all the time, which is the only thing I've used to help my rosacea, as opposed to sort of the next things I'm going to talk about. So the peptide in that, what it does is it's helping build the skin cells and helping protect your skin. And it has, by doing that, it rebuilds that layer we're losing all the fluid out of. Helicotil and sea whip. I know the Sum of Little Faith, and until I learnt about it I felt the same. Sounds a bit like Eye of Newton, Tongue of Frog, but actually these things have been shown and have properties proven to reduce irritation and reduce the redness and reduce the inflammation in the skin. So these things are fantastic. And these come in a serum called Calm R. So what quite often I do, depending on the severity of people's rosacea, is I'll start them off on something called Ultimate Boost and then move on to the Calm R once the Ultimate Boost has helped with that epidermal water loss. And then we can move on to the sort of more heavy duty treatment of it, which is the Calm R, which has got the Helicotil and the sea whip. It does reduce the redness, but it also does help the bacteria as well in the skin. And it's powerful antioxidants, which obviously we need because all the irritants are getting into the skin because it's disrupted. Sunscreen for everyone, for every reason. Again, you've got an interrupted layer in your skin. You're probably quite fair anyway because of the most likelihood of people who do get rosacea, like me, like redheads. So we need to protect the skin because it's not doing a good job protecting itself, as I've previously explained. So again, must protect it with a sunscreen, have to. Skin peels. So obviously we're in lockdown, we're not having in clinic treatments at the moment, so all these products I've talked about and all these ingredients I've talked about and actives are brilliant to get started, start to improve the condition of the skin so that when the clinic treatments come back, we can use peels to improve the texture of the skin that has got worse over the time because of the nature of rosacea. So that all starts with a consultation. So I'll put a link in tomorrow for an online consultation if anyone would like one to discuss more about their personal journey with rosacea, what their own triggers are, the severity of the rosacea, what ingredients are better for their rosacea. Rosacea is very, and I'll put some before and after pictures on of treatments this week. I'll put my before and after picture on as well. As I said, put my money where my mouth is. And you can see severity. I'll put a picture on me, which is very mild, and I'll show you a picture of a lady that was treated. Oh, hi Michelle. that was treated with Illuminate products, and the severity of her rosacea, just to get an idea of why it needs to be, you know, not one product fits all. So yes, there are products that are geared towards rosacea, but we need to make sure it's right for you. You may be someone that has an oily T-zone, you may be someone that's rosacea isn't that bad and they don't need Sensitive Calm, but they do need more moisture, which is for me what I had. I didn't have the Sensitive Calm cleanser. I use Hydro Boost because I need more moisture into my skin. So that's what I chose to do, and that's what improves for me. Now, as I said, I've discussed before, the need for moisture, the need for moisturisers, and we use the word moisturiser just to mean any cream really, but really what, as I've discussed before, serums were treating the condition. So by treating my epidermal water loss, what I've actually done is eradicated the need for me to have moisturiser, and I just use my targeted serums and my sunscreen. So, you know, I was some of these people, but you couldn't, if I got out of the shower, first I didn't put cream on my face because it just was tight, it was horrible. Any water in my face, I had to put cream on afterwards. And that's because I lost so much moisture through my skin that now I've repaired it, it holds so much moisture. It just feels so much nicer, so much more supple, there's more spring in it, and it's more an even colour. So, yes, this is from experience. But obviously mine wasn't that severe. Obviously, people start from different places, which is why, as I said, start with a consultation. We'll chat online like this, without everyone else here, and just discuss how it affects you, what we think's causing it, and what products might be best for you. And then I will do a prescription of all the things you would need. I'll put it on your own portal and you can buy them at your leisure, really. And I can put notes on there of which ones I would buy next, as opposed if you didn't want to buy all the products all at once. And as I've said, retinol is a great thing, but we need to be gentle with the rosacea because of the sensitivity of the skin. So we would add in the retinol at a later stage, and part of that process you'd have me there to discuss it with in a month's time, 2 months' time. You know, when that would be ready and when that would be a good time to add that in for you. Just got a question here. My rosacea keeps flaring up. I've got a very oily nose which keeps going shiny. And you see, that's another thing. So you would want a Sensitive Calm cleanser just to start the process. We're talking about cleansers, because that's good at removing oils in the skin and then replacing it with the sort of ceramides, which are better at holding moisture but don't give you that shine. Whereas I didn't need that. I went straight for a Hydro Boost because I have very dry skin. So that's what I mean. Everybody's very, very different. I mean, if you have oily areas in your skin, you can use something called, I can't think of the word now. I've got it right here. What's it called? Matty Clear, which is like almost soaks up moisture, and you can add that in to any serums regime you have, and that's really good. It almost like sponges up the oils. But I think if you improve the condition of the skin when you've got rosacea, Michelle, then outdoors may happen. But obviously, if you want to chat about that, you know where I am. It'd be nice to see someone's skin before making complete suggestions. But there are different actives in all this range to help everybody, and that's why it's important. No problem. That's why it's important to have a personalised plan. I hope that makes sense. A little bit stilted at the end there. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word Matty Clear. It's not that difficult, is it? So yes, skincare, sunscreen, as always. Peels, which would be great to start once once the lockdown's over, but to start now improving that water loss and that lipid layer that's damaged in rosacea and causing that redness, causing those breakouts, causing those visible vessels. Now's the time to do it, and then progress into the peels. And as I said, the online consultation included in that is, when the clinic opens again, is to upgrade from a 1-tier peel to 3-tier peels, which is great because that means you get whether you need a moisture mask, if you're someone like me who doesn't have much moisture in their skin, or if you're someone who has lots of oil in their skin, say Michelle, if you said you get the oily nose, what we could do is you then tailor the whole mask to you, so you can have a mask that removes oil on the nose and on the T-zone perhaps, but puts moisture in elsewhere across the cheeks where potentially you may have lost it because of the rosacea. Then you can have a peel. So we'd start off with a lighter peel, and then you can have an after treatment, potentially a vitamin A or something, so which is which is similar to a retinol, obviously, as we've discussed before, again, help build up the skin. So that's a beautiful treatment. So that would be a three-tier peel for the cost of a single tier peel as part of your online consultation. So I hope that's okay. If anyone's got any more questions, pop them on here, message me privately, call me, email, whatever you like. If you want to book an online consultation, I will put the link on after this. And yeah, you know where I am. Hope you're okay. Tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to share my before and after pictures. So yeah, I was quite surprised actually when I saw a picture yesterday. I was like, oh my god, it was really sort of, for me it's here, my nose, and a patch here. I don't know why I've always had this little patch here. So yeah, it feels so much better now to be a more even tone and not to have to wear any makeup. So yes, I hope you were all well. I hope that was informative and useful. And you know where I am if you want more information. And the rest of the week I'll be showing some before and after pictures, going into the triggers a little bit more, and talking about some of the ingredients. So I might talk a bit about the henicotil and sea root, just put a little list out of what these things are and what they do, so we know they're not eye of Newton, tongue of frog, tail of dog, whatever that saying is. Anyway, stay safe everyone. Take care. Bye.